Meanwhile, here's Joe Biden. I want to get your take on this because a lot of people, I don't know, people were a little bit upset about this Joe Biden clip. I mean, I mean, this is, I don't know. I want to get your take on this. This is Joe Biden. He is at a town hall on MSNBC, and he's being asked about being a socialist.
Left. I look like a socialist. Look, I'm the guy that ran against the socialists. Remember, I got in trouble during the whole campaign. 20-some candidates. Joe Biden was too centrist, too moderate, too straightforward. That was Joe Biden. I have taken on the very people that, in fact, we're worried about. I've taken on the Castros of the world. I've taken on the Putins of the world. I've taken on all these dictators. I haven't cozied up to them. I'm the guy that's been straightforward with them. I'm the guy that's let them know it stops here. It stops with me. It stops with me as president. I am no more a socialist than or a communist than Donald Trump is. Well, I won't say it. Anyway. So they need not worry. Just look at the record. There's not one single syllable that I've ever said that could lead you to believe that I was a socialist or a communist.
I have no problem with him saying, like, look, I'm a centrist. I'm not a socialist. I'm a centrist. I mean, because that's what he is. And that's what the Democrats voted for. But when he equates being a socialist, like the ones he beat in the primary, to Castro and Putin. I mean, that is.
That's where you cut Joe's mic and you give him a script.
I mean, honestly, like that is just, well, it's embarrassing.
I mean, Bernie's out there campaigning for him right now in person, risking his well-being.
Yeah,
The least you could do is not compare him to Vladimir Putin.
Exactly.
I mean, like, if I'm challenging Biden, a little bit dangerous right now to do so, but if you don't like socialists, then do you not want Bernie's help? Because you can't have it both ways.
Well,
you shouldn't have it both ways.
I have no problem him saying I'm not a socialist, because he's not. And we should know the guy is a centrist. And that's where that's who he is. He is a centrist. He is not going to change anything. That's what he's arguing. But the idea that he has to equate that, I find to be really offensive. I mean, it's just offensive.
And that was MSNBC, right? I didn't check. Okay, so it's not like he's on Fox or CNN trying to win over some centrists or Republicans that are on the fence. You're literally on MSNBC.
I mean, I'm not convinced that a lot of those people on MSNBC don't want him to be not a socialist. But
without a doubt,
the idea that these people think that a socialist means Castro or Putin, I mean, this is part of the problem with Joe Biden as a candidate is that he, isn't super adept when it comes to expressing himself. Right? I'm as much of a socialist as Donald Trump is. I can't come up with an analogy, so I'm going to pretend like it's something I can't say on television. Yeah. That's what that was. Which, okay, good. It's a nice save. It's like, actually, I'm going to play off my inability to come up with an analogy on my feet with, I'm actually just too much of a gentleman to say it.
Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders and Putin, same thing.
I just think that, yes, that is... the other danger, and to be honest with you, it is not his lack of verbal and rhetorical agility has not inhibited him on the general election campaign. But that type of stuff,
yeah,
I mean, he's not doing himself any favors there, and he's not doing us any favors. Not just because, I don't think the left should be equated with Castro or Putin or dictators, but because you're offending people, and why? I think he would take it back. He would take it back, but it just.
I don't think he would, because first off, he's done this multiple times, and the Democrats have done this multiple times. And I think what this reveals is that the Democratic Party and the establishment has spent the majority of their energy of the last 5 years obsessing over how to kill a working class, left-leaning movement that eating the party from the ground up. And it's been an obsession on their minds. And now you have a situation in which this is when Democrats win, generally speaking. The Republicans are extremely unpopular, and they literally can just coast through. So instead of spending all of their time thinking about this dictator who is in office right now, he cannot hold back because they're sitting in their little echo on conference calls with each other, listening to Rahm Emanuel give them the right talking points about how Joe Biden has to win the debate. And they can't even put a filter on to think maybe, just maybe, we need them to beat this dictator because they don't know how to actually win against Republicans. They only know how to fix elections to kill movements. That's it.
Yeah, it's really, I mean...
We're doing all we can right now, Sam. Look at us. We're sitting here talking about that. We are doing it, and they just spit in our faces. I would love someone to ask Jill Biden if she feels this way, because I have a feeling she's like not one to act. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I just think that it's just it's stupid politics. I think it does reveal, what is, I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, I'm part of a movement, a party, or whatever, a disposition that wants to beat Joe Biden. I'm not going to be able to do it right now because there's no election as to whether he's the nominee. He's the nominee. We lost that election. And I'm going to try and beat him legislatively or push him or however you want to phrase it. So I don't, it doesn't bother me that they have this type of disdain for the left. But I think it's just a huge mistake because, I have the same disdain for Rahm Emanuel. Right. I mean,
He was on that post-debate stage with Chris Christie, and it's the first thing I thought of when Chris Christie got COVID.
I'm not going to lie. Rahm Emanuel, I think he's, it's just silly to say he's like Putin or Castro or he's like, I don't know, Jair Bolsonaro or something like that. But I think he's bad. I think he's a bad person. I think his agenda is bad. I think it's bad. And by measuring that, how much human suffering his decisions cause and amongst whom in particular. But as a political matter, it's just stupid politics to do right now and unnecessary. That's just what it is. And on some level, it's also good to know that, look, this is what you're up against. And so, you take that and you go back and you say, okay, what's the talking points? When they start to deploy this, when we start, what are the talking points? What are the political machinations? And one of the good things about, I don't know, just the Putin thing is just so stupid.
And it's actually giving the Republicans ammunition. It's one thing to criticize the left and you want to distance yourself. I'm not a socialist, whatever. It's another thing to have the Democratic nominee talking about its base in many key demographics as aligning with Putin. And then the Republicans are going to say, but you thought we were. So who do you think we're, Tulsi Gabbard's not really helping either, but
Right. No, it's ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous.